Stereo collectors. Here's a real nice vintage piece. Heathkit AA32 stereo amplifier tube. This one came from Ohio. It was on eBay. I haven't seen many coming up. And some are coming on eBay and the other selling sites at ridiculously high prices. That's why I've avoided them. I mean, see, I come from a time when I picked some of these out of the garbage back in the 80s, or they were given to me, or it's like, well, give me 20 bucks. And we're now at the point where it's considered, well, long considered a classic, the Heathkit line. I'm just going to roll it around here. I've just kind of been doing a preliminary look over on it. And this is the 6th one of these I've owned. And I've serviced more than that, but as far as owning and restoring myself, I've owned several AA151s, several AA100s, then several of the solid state ones. We'll go into those another time. This one is an exceptional find. First of all, it's only slightly dusty inside. No corrosion. There's still the chassis looks like, once this cleans up, it will be as bright as the year it was made. The front paint is nice on the cover. The cover is another thing. The cover, somebody put some kind of masking tape or something on top of it and then pulled it off, so you've got 2 strips of the paint gone, but I'll sand it down and redo it. This excited me when I took the cover off. Okay? And why? They're all the original Mullards. Everyone. So there's 3 6EU7s. They're Mullards. The 4 6 GW8s ECL86s are all Mullard. I haven't looked at them on the tube tester yet, but my guess is they will test all right. They always do. Fantastic tubes. Let's take a peek underneath. I took the bottom cover off. There you go. Now this has, it's all original parts. This was one that was put together from a kit. Those gotta go. I'm going to do all the electrolytic caps, and I'm going to do many of these poly caps or whatever they are. One thing I know about them from restoring other ones, the 0.1s here, the 400 volt ones, many of them will be leaky. These smaller ones, some are like 200s in that range, they're probably okay. These Sprague black ones here, those will have to go. I might restuff the can on this one, put 240 microfarads in the can, because there's very little space underneath to put caps on the terminal board. And there's basically 6 electrolytic capacitors in the power supply. I'm going to bring it down again. So I did a little test on this one. I have a cable I made up. This doesn't have a headphone jack. Goes on the speaker outputs at 8 ohms, and you can plug a headphone into it. Only works for ones with common ground. And I got strong hum out of it, so that's not too good. But audio did come through. Left channel a little stronger than the right. Not really distorted or anything. Actually not bad. So you could see it was sold as working and original owner. So I mean, this is just slowly degraded, whether it was sitting in a closet or in use. The capacitors, resistors will drift. The tubes usually stay, you know, up. These output transformers, I've never seen a bad one on these, and I've worked on quite a few. I'm just going to bring it around because it has such a pretty face. You know, with the kind of off-white here, the beigey brown. These knobs are very much like Johnson CB radios from the time. And very simple, you know. Selector, split volume control, mono stereo, on off, bass and treble. The last one I had restored, I remember listening to Beatles 1965 on an LP, original pressing, and this is the vintage of this, right? And I was thinking, this album was recorded and made for this amp. It just has an amazing sound with vinyl. It has a very good magnetic phono stage. Um, it also, in my opinion, having owned several of them, this one is better than the AA151, which uses the 4 6BQ5s in the output. It's a little bigger, it's a little heavier, it's a little more complex. You get about 4 more watts per channel. I mean, and then there's the AA100, which has always been a disappointment. If anyone's familiar with those, they use the printed circuit boards in them, and they had problems with the boards cracking, the output tubes bluing out because of leakage, the coupling capacitors. I just noticed in here there's a batch number 2246. They're all 2246. Oh man, to get them with the original tubes. But anyway, the AA100, which is more power than this and quite a bit bigger, this sounds bigger. I've had them side by side and demoed them. And I remember one demo I did, and this is when I was as a bench tech. We had Yamaha CA2000, which was a really nice top-of-the-line integrated amp, about 110 watts per channel or something like that. And it was on its way out. There was a new series replacing it, and one of these came in. And I did a repair on it for a customer, placed a few capacitors in it, and A-B'd it on the switcher out in the showroom. I remember there were a couple of people standing out there, and I forget what I was playing. I think it was Eric Clapton or something. And they're like, that is a sweet sounding rig. And they're standing around the CA2000, right? And they're going, those are great. I said, actually, it's that. It's the little tube amp. No. I said, I'm serious. It is. I said, like, see, it's in position 6. It's 6 on the switcher. Then I put in the CA2000, which sounded cold compared to this one. Anyway, I'm going to follow up on this through restoration, do a little more testing on it. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening.